As you see, they've got a neck on the floor. He's got his hand on her neck.
He's straight out of Wales with the wind in his sails. He's tipping the scales, Silurian trails, revealing their names while he's lifting their veils. Public assails, no one exhales. Won't read in the mail, it's not printed in braille. No bonus for sales, the light will prevail. He's telling the tale while he's hot on the trail. Whole nother scale, he's hammering the nail. He's trolling and rolling the camera and showing the standard that's double. Exposing the bubble, removing the muzzle. He's always got trouble, he's fighting the muscle and solving the puzzle. He's taking the fight and he's spreading the light and he's doing it right, taking dark as the night and he's making it bright and providing insight while he's flooding your eyes like a hair in the headlight.
Don't even pick on me. Are you watching this? The press aren't allowed to film.
Injustice is served, collar crime is submerged. Don't be absurd, your vision is blurred. He's seen it occur, still right there on the curb. His iPhone record, he's filming the herd. BLM thugs act like cons high on drugs. They wrecking the place, they're smashing the face. He's in with the thick, in with hammers and sticks. Exposing the truth, he's showing the proof. He's trolling and rolling the camera and showing the standard that's double. Exposing the bubble, removing the muzzle. He's always got trouble, he's fighting the muscle and solving the puzzle. He's taking the fight and he's spreading the light and he's doing it right, taking dark as the night and he's making it bright and providing insight while he's flooding your eyes like a hair in the headlight.
You just don't want to see it there. You just don't want to see the violence. You don't want to see the violence on some of those people. 3 people on a woman.
Support for the vets, pray unless we forget the pain he besets and the truth he projects. He's a victim of threats, but he never regrets. Life extremely upsets, no printing gazettes. He's taken the test, got the pedo's address. No south, east or west, he streams the protest. No news is suppressed, the whole truth is expressed. Twin standard he tests, he's facing arrest. He's trolling and rolling the camera and showing the standard that's double. Exposing the bubble, removing the muzzle. He's always got trouble, he's fighting the muscle and solving the puzzle. He's taking the fight and he's spreading the light and he's doing it right, taking dark as the night and he's making it bright and providing insight while he's flooding your eyes like a hair in the headlight.
There's 4, 5 or 1. There's 2 on a girl. They pinned her to the floor. This one's getting a bully boy tactics. That's from the TSG probably. Sergeant, yeah.
Evening all. Hope you all had a nice Christmas and a happy New Year. What I'm going to do, I'm going to bring co-host on Christiana. Evening. Get your name right.
Hello, how are you? You okay?
Yeah, not too bad. How was your Christmas?
Yeah, it was good, thank you. Yeah, it was nice spending time with family, the small family that I've got that haven't disowned me. It was very nice, enjoyable.
Well, I went to my sister's. I did. I normally go about 2 o'clock, and I'm normally gone by 7. But we played a card game. I can't remember the blinking name of the card game now. But I tell you what, it was the sickest card game I've ever played. And I mean,
was it?
Yeah. I'll tell you the name of it now because I actually ordered it myself because it was such a good game. We started at 7. Well, no, we actually started about 5 after lunch. We had lunch around about 3:30. Yeah, we probably started about 4:30. And we stopped, I would say, 12 o'clock at night. It was such a good game. I'll see if I can get it up now.
Good. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I haven't played cards for years, since I was a child.
It wasn't your normal cards.
Oh, was it strip poker?
Cards Against Humanity. Yeah.
Oh, cards. Oh, brilliant. Yeah, I've heard about it, but I've never played it.
Oh, I'm telling you. But it was an American version. That was the only downside. So I ordered it myself, but I've ordered the UK one, and I've ordered expansion packs as well. So I can't wait till the next family do and I bring those out because you got questions. Just for instance, who would you invite to your 8-year-old's birthday party, right? And and the person with the funniest or the sickest answer, right? They get the black card. So the more black cards you got, the first one to 5 wins. Well, I ended up with about about 28, 29 cards I did, black ones. So obviously, but you'd have answers like Jimmy Savile, stuff like that. It's a real sick game, honest to God. But it was funny. It was funny. Because some of the questions were, they were bonkers, they were. All right. Yeah, Happy New Year, Shalom, Olivia. Evening, Brenda, how are you doing? Yeah, definitely. It's definitely a game to get, especially if you only need 3 people to really play it, but you can play up to about 8, 9 people if you want around the table. And it is funny. It is funny. It's like 600 cards. So you all get 10 each. Thanks, Welsh Blonde. That's one of my admin. Yeah. So what did you do for your New Year?
Stayed in. It's really boring. And you had your birthday, didn't you?
Yeah.
Happy birthday.
Midlife crisis, as Kim put down. I did have midlife crisis. I just was quite happy spending New Year's Eve and my birthday on New Year's Day on my own. I thought, yeah, I saved a hell of a lot of money than going to London, like, you know. It's like 200-300 quid a room for London for New Year's Eve.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, folks.
No, I used to go out when I was younger, obviously, all the time. But as you get a bit older, you think, oh, I can't be bothered standing waiting for taxis and stuff. But yeah, I've got good memories.
Yeah, it was the first year I didn't go out. I normally go out because obviously it's my birthday, like, do you mean? I normally do go out. But I thought, no, I didn't really want to. And I think I only had 1 can, and that was in the night. And that's all I had. I was quite happy. I was quite happy with my own company. Well, I only had one. I only had 1 can over Christmas. Hang on.
Well, then.
That's a lie. I went.
Oh, see, you're reminding me of another media outlet that's mainstream.
No, it was a lie because I went and visited friends on the Tuesday after Christmas. So I had a few drinks on the pub with them, like, you know. But that's all I had. About 5 pints. That's all I've had over Christmas. So I think I've done well, really. What about yourself? What's your alcohol intake been?
Yeah, I had a couple of. I like spiced rum and stuff, so I had some of those over Christmas. But I'm not a massive drinker at home either. I've maybe a couple of shots, you know. Sometimes I like those Kahlua and Baileys. They're like little. I think are they called? Oh, they'd be 52. I don't know what they're called, but they were nice anyway. I had a couple of them.
Yeah, I had. What did I have? It's like amaretto, the real stuff. Can't remember it. Well, anyway, I had a bottle out of somebody. Somebody bought me a bottle. I hadn't even touched it yet. Like, didn't I? What was that? A free night in the clink. If you started a protest New Year's Eve, you could have had a free night in the clink. I don't think so. I went to actually a protest last year on my birthday, New Year's Eve. And I didn't get locked up. I know 1 or 2 that did get locked up, but I didn't. Definite. So
I love a protest. I do enjoy a protest.
Yeah, there's a few protests coming up now in the next 4 weeks. It's going to be quite interesting. PCP Wales, they've going to be they have to put in their appeal. I think it has to be in by the 12th. So then they've got 7 days to reply to it. Well, we know what's going to happen. They'll probably lose the appeal, and then it will have to go to the Supreme Court. The further you go up the ladder, you know, hopefully they get a different judge this time, to be honest with you. I am looking into that judge, because there's a few things pretty dodgy about her, so I've been told.
There's a surprise. That's a real shocker to us. We would never have thought that.
Paid for the government as well. Yeah. You can't trust anybody like that, can you? Yeah.
What did we expect? You know, it was disappointing. It was upsetting. yeah, it was really sad, but
De Serrano.
you know,
Yeah, you're right there, mate. It was De Serrano.
what can
Yeah,
you expect from the government?
but we knew it was going to be that. So
I was hoping, I was really hoping that they were going to at least allow people to have opt out, but I shouldn't have been so naive, really. I don't know why I fell for that one, thinking that they would do us, you know, some nice gesture. Obviously, it's a massive agenda, isn't it? So
I wish they had the judge in the beginning who actually gave him the court case, didn't they? Because
really,
obviously there was they were lucky to get it in the beginning, like, didn't they? They would have normally you would have to appeal to get into court, but they were lucky they got it the first time. It's like 1% actually does that, so they did really well to get into court.
oh,
So,
definitely. I know they've done amazing. I mean, nobody can argue with that. They've absolutely smashed it, and you know, like PCP Wales say that, you know, it's all on record now, isn't it? It's all shown, you know, like at the beginning with government that lied about quite a few things, and now there's proof, you know, that they did actually mislead the public. So that's brilliant that, you know, that has actually been reported on. But yeah, just keep going now, isn't it? Not going to give up. No one's going to give up because it's about children. So there's nobody stopping.
But what we need now is the English to actually wake up, because at the end of the day, that ruling in court, it affects. Yeah. It's a Welsh and English ruling, folks. The court is a Welsh and English court. So the ruling in that court stands in England as well. And I'm afraid to tell the English, your child is now not your child. You can say whatever you want. I've seen comments and all that. At the end of the day, as far as the government is concerned, your child will be taught what they want them to be taught.
Yeah,
sorry, England.
Exactly.
You need to get on board with this, England, because you actually, the people who were taking your court case to court against the government, they actually lost on a technicality. And Wales is the only country who's got a chance. We're going back in for the appeal, and it'll probably end up in the Supreme Court as well. So England, you need to get on board with this. You need to come and support Wales, because if we win a day in court, then it's a knock-on effect for the rest of the country, and that's what it'll do. Now you realise that it's in black and white on a ruling in a high court that your child has no parent has a right over their child. It's the state's child.
Shocking.
It is shocking.
It's really shocking. It's unbelievable that they've actually even admitted that. I mean, I'm sure some people knew that anyway, really, but for them to actually come out and say it, that you have no rights over your child. You've got no rights when they're in school. You have absolutely no rights. And what did they say? Your only, option was to homeschool, wasn't it?
Well, they're in the court. I can remember that being said. Somebody put the radio next to me, and it said you can either be homeschooled or stick them in private school. Well, private schools will be going by the same curriculum anyway. If you homeschool, just remember the school's bill, which will be put through this year, will make you to teach the curriculum they want you to teach. Doing certain aspects of it. And if you think you're going to get away with sex education taught to your 3-year-old, then you're wrong. It's going to happen. If you like it or not, homeschooled or private school, because they're going to be forcing it on the parents. And if parents think, no, I'm not going to be doing that, well, I'm sorry, parents, if you don't do it, there's a possibility you could lose your child. And then because they bring social services in. Do you mean? And it's the same as when you take your child out. Do you mean? So the English need to get on board with this. The Scots are quite aware of what's going on. Like, do you mean?
Well, they are now. It's taken them a while, some of them, hasn't it, to really realise the effects of this, and that's the problem, that a lot of parents are not really they're not gonna feel the effects of this until maybe a couple of years' time, and then they're gonna wish that they'd stood up with everyone.
Yeah. Who's Jonathan Hart then, Chrissy? Can you read that?
Oh, he's one of our freedom fighters. He's one of our banners.
Good.
He often attends the banners on bridges and other things. He's a warrior. Yeah. He's a real man.
You just said, Chrissy, run away with me. I've got enough bog rolls to see you up to 2030.
Yeah, he's got loads of toilet rolls, so that's a good idea. And then we can sell him and be rich.
He's not the guy that works in British Tissues up the road from me, is he?
Wasn't there that film, Billionaire Boy, where the dad became famous and rich from selling toilet rolls? Anyway, that's really not important. That's not really a news issue, is it? But anyway, hiya, John.
Yeah, Shalom. I've sent a complaint into that council. We'll just wait and see what happens, isn't it? But everybody should be sending in complaints about that councillor, because the way he acted, he should never be a councillor. He should definitely shouldn't be a school governor either. I'm sure we'll see him over the next few weeks as well. Okay, I want to play this film first. We'll go on about Christmas. I've got to make sure I got the right one. Yeah. All right, I'll play this for a minute. It's only a minute, it is, folks. If you watch it, it's from GB News.
It's illumination season in Blackpool, but amidst the bright lights, there's a darker side to this tourist town. Down at street level, in the shadows, are Blackpool's forgotten. The homeless and the vulnerable are growing increasingly resentful, as one of the town's historic hotels plays host to more than 300 Channel migrants, just yards from where they're forced to sleep rough on the streets.
I'm invisible. I am literally invisible. People walk past. They don't even see you now.
Sketch has been sleeping rough in Blackpool for months. His story sums up the absurdity of the Channel migrant crisis and will serve only to stoke the anger felt by many. Inside this hotel, mainly young men who paid criminal gangs to cross the Channel illegally. While life for Sketch and friend Gaz, an army veteran, seems almost unbearably miserable.
So, what are your thoughts on that? I know what my thoughts are, and he's quite angry at the moment.
Well, it's disgusting. What type of world is this? Well, we know what type of world it is. It's completely wrong, upside down world, isn't it? To allow people to live like that, you know, in this day and age, it's beyond shocking, isn't it? It just shouldn't be happening. And why is it happening? Who's to blame? Who's behind this?
Well, at the end of the day, it's the government, isn't it? You can only put the blame at the government's door. You got two homeless people who were a short interview. I saw 3 on there, but 2 are homeless. One was a veteran, served our country.
Oh.
I mean, at the end of the day, he should not be on the streets where you got illegal immigrants staying in a hotel 100 feet away from them. You know what I mean?
I know, it's heartbreaking.
It is. It's wrong. Full stop.
It's a real kick in the teeth, isn't it? It's for them. They must see this going on as well, and they must think, well, it's just awful, upsetting, really, isn't it? You know?
Yeah, but it's upsetting on many ways, really, because not only illegal refugees. I haven't got a problem. I've never had a problem with proper refugees who come from war-torn countries. But France is a war-torn country. Full stop. Do you know what I mean? So anybody who's coming over on a boat shouldn't be allowed over here. Full stop. They should be sent back. We know that.
Yeah, absolutely.
But like I said, it was how many billions they spent last year just on illegal refugees?
I haven't got a clue. probably a shocking amount of money, is it? How much is it? You all right, Phil? Stay with us, Phil.
Frog. Yeah, there's billions. At the end of the day, it's not only that, we've got to look at old age pensioners as well, don't we?
Oh, I
How many old age
know.
pensioners went without eating this over Christmas?
Oh, I
when
bet there
actually-
was loads.
Yeah, exactly. And once a legal refugee gets accommodation given to him regarding council house, private rent, an old age pensioner will have £106 pension. You know that? It's one of the lowest in Europe. One of the lowest. Do you know how much a refugee gets?
How much?
Once they've got a place? 250 quid. Now, for an old age pensioner, for a spouse, is 25 quid extra, right? For a refugee, it's 220 quid, 225 quid on top of their 250 for a spouse. How sick is that? I mean, and then it gets worse because they get a hardship as well. They get £100 on top. Illegal refugees and refugees in this country get £100 on top of that money as well. While
I didn't know that.
While our old age pensioners who work 40 to 50 years of their life to get a pension of 106 quid, it's just taking a piss. They're freezing in their houses, and half of these refugees are getting the heating free. That's something else. Can you imagine all these ones in the hotels now? Do you mean they're getting the heating, everything free, aren't they?
Of course they are. They're getting well looked after. They're in a cushy hotel. They're getting their food, their money. And we don't really know who half of them are, where they're actually from. Some we do and some we don't. So it's a bit concerning, really. And, for our elderly, like you said, we're supposed to look after them. A lot of them have worked all their lives and they deserve to be looked after. But the government don't care about our people. They don't care about the people in the UK. I mean, we all know that anyway. It's obvious now. It's becoming more and more obvious all the time. They're just not interested, are they, in saving people's lives? They don't care. And as soon as everyone realises that, we can all start pushing back against this, because everything they're doing is wrong. Despicable, definitely. Isn't it?
Well, I just feel how many pensioners have probably actually already died of hypothermia this winter. Do you mean? It is absolutely shocking. Like, I'd love to know when it comes to February or March, they'll probably release the figures. And what about the excess deaths? Was it 7,500 a month? Is it 7,500 a month?
Well, I can't remember the exact figure. Sorry, I'm a bit rubbish at figures. But look, all we need to know is they are high. They are really high. And if people want to go and check them themselves, they can go and check them, because they're just going up and up and up and up. And ever since what has happened in the country, they have definitely increased. And they're higher now than they were when we were in emergency for, I don't like to say the word, so I'm going to call it the C, the big, So, so they're higher now than they were then when we had all that emergency, with Boris on the podium and all that, scaring everyone half to death. I mean, how many people actually died there out of fear, not leaving their homes? There was elderly people. I walked past people at their window speaking to their family members. So they were stood, behind the glass talking to their family. And you just think, what has this done to people? It's just destroyed people, absolutely destroyed them. And you still see elderly people walking around with masks on. It's so cruel what they've done. They've really scared people to death, really, some people.
Yeah, they certainly have. Well, we can look back at the pandemic and how many old people that the government actually killed, like by sending them out of the hospitals and straight into a care home, like, to me, and then put them on end of life drugs, and they can decide they can turn around and deny that as much as they want, but they did. That was, that was genocide. It was genocide on
Well,
all people in this country.
he ordered, Hancock ordered, he ordered all the supplies of it, didn't he? And they used it within, was it within a year or something? It was like they used like a couple of years or a few years supply within like less than a year. So
20,000 extra doses.
There
That's
you
what
are.
that was just for old age pensioners' homes. That was. I actually knew a few nurses who were working in these homes, and one or two did actually refuse to give the end of life treatment when they were told to. There was one on a ward. Well, there was actually 12 of them who were told in this old age pensions home. This has come direct from a nurse. She was told by a doctor to give them end of life drugs, and she refused. 11 of them were up and dancing the next day when she refused.
There
to
you
give
go. Oh, don't tell me that.
They
It's
were up
gross.
and dancing.
Well, it's horrific.
It was complete genocide.
I was in a hospital at the time, so I know a little bit about what was going on. And there was people with dementia who couldn't leave their bedroom 10 days and stuff because they tested positive, and they weren't even ill, but they had dementia. They were trying to get out of their bed. Oh, it's unbelievable. But people think, well, they tested positive, we have to save the other patients on the wards. They can't leave their bedroom. But
testing positive, those tests weren't even reliable anyway. Because I knew another nurse who used to work in a factory. I'm not going to say it. It's a well-known car factory, and she used to do the tests on them every 3 days, twice a week. They used to get tested in there. Do you mean? And at the end of the day, not one out of about 2,000 to 3,000 workers actually had COVID during it at all on that test. And then all of a sudden, if you went to care homes or you went to hospitals, they were all testing positive. What a load of bullshit. Not one.
Well, it was because they weren't ill. I know, I've seen it. I know they were not ill. These people, I'd go in and they'd tell me to stay away from certain rooms because they've tested positive. And I'd ask, are they ill? Are they actually ill? And they'd say, oh, well, no, but they've tested positive. It's a complete and utter farce. The whole thing is a joke. And that's what was going out on the news, that there's this many people who have got COVID and everything. But, I said the word. They were saying that they were actually positive, but they weren't ill. And that means that they weren't ill. That's what that means. There was nothing wrong with them. They're stuck in their bedrooms. Oh,
well, it was the same with the masks. We all know the masks and the testing kits all went to jobs for the boys, like in Westminster. That's where it went. There was no need of masks either. That was just another scam, wasn't it?
Of course it wasn't.
We now know the science behind a mask, which doesn't actually prevent sod all, because
it makes you ill. Actually, it's very bad for you.
It does.
And do you know in the Spanish flu afterwards, it turned out that lots of people, it was discovered that a lot of people died of hypoxia due to mask wearing. They've done all this before. This isn't the first time they've done this. This is history repeating, and they know how to play this game because they've done it before. And they know what masks do. Of course they know. They know exactly what they do.
Yeah, when you go back to the 19th century, when they had a massive epidemic or pandemic, or if you want to call it that, you could see the same pictures with the photos. You see all the workers with the masks on, the elite with their bowler hats on in the background with nothing on.
With no masks.
It's exactly the same. This trick has been...
Exactly. Oh, it is.
Doing. Absolutely.
Well, do you know...
Yeah, go on.
Go on.
No, you go.
it's what made me research. Well, to be honest, it was because the school said that the children had to wear masks, and that's when I lost my head. I lost the plot over that. And that's how somehow I managed to find this really amazing union this Awake, and they put the school on notice for me, and they helped me send letters, and they were amazing. And the school did leave my son alone, but they also sent me all the studies about what masks do, and I was so glad, because I had like pages of studies, so whenever anyone argued with me, I had proof that they're just no good. They just don't do anything. You're just wasting your time. I don't know, it's just crazy. But then everyone says, oh, well, they wear them in the hospitals, but they actually would only wear them for, like, I think for more bacteria and stuff, not actually for viruses, like just to, so you're not spitting on someone or something, or no one's, you're not, it's just one of those things, like,
I got a 30% calcified heart, probably a little bit more now, and I'm still waiting for the last. I think it was March last year. They were meant to give me a stress test. To see if they worthwhile putting a stent in, or to do whatever they wanted to do to my heart, like. And you know what? They refused me 3 times now to go into, because I will not wear a mask and I won't get tested. I feel well, so why would I want to get tested? Do you mean, or get a jibby jabby? I'm not getting that, none of it. So I think this year I'm gonna have to come to the conclusion I'm gonna have to take him to court. I don't think I've got any other way but to take him to court, because at the end of the day they're refusing me treatment, and
I can't believe that.
Yeah. I had an heart attack when I was 24 years ago. I was only 30. I had a heart attack. I actually died, and obviously,
my gosh.
Well, I died in the right place. I was actually in A&E at the time, and they brought me back. Like, so, so I haven't really struggled with my heart. Do you know what I mean? But obviously, my breathing isn't so good, so they wanted to check, make sure my heart was okay, and they realised that it's 30% calcified, and that was back in March last year. Like, so, but they haven't done bugger all. Like, do you know what I mean? So 3 times they've asked me to come in, and 3 times I've turned around and said, I'm not being tested. They even turned around and said to me, "Oh, what we'll do then, if you're not going to play ball, we'll bring you at the last appointment of the day." I said, "All right, then, fair enough." And when they did it for 2:30, I think it was, they decided, no, because you won't have it, we can't do it. Your consultants have said, no, you're not having it done.
Have you got anyone? Because I can put you in touch with the union if you want, the one that I used that helped me with the masks.
Well, I want to. I'd rather take them to court and get a few bob off them. To be honest with you, I'll definitely take them to court, because at the end of the day, what they're breaking my human rights. I paid my taxes. They're refusing me treatment, and I paid NHS. Do you mean my national insurance? 30, 40 years. Like, do you mean? So why not?
Exactly. Why not go for it? Worth a try.
Hello, Phil. I was wondering where you was. Hadn't seen you online. Yes, I have been online. I've been online quite often. If you check the Philip Palmer one, you'll see me on that profile, because that's the profile I'm using at the moment. I am about to change it to Lord, by the way, as well. It'll be Lord Philip Palmer, because don't laugh.
Show off. Show off. I want one of them. I want to be a princess.
So my sister bought me a title, folks. There you go. So I'm actually a lord.
That's hysterical.
It's a pain in the arse. I've got to go to the post office.
Oh, sorry about that.
Post office to change my driving license over.
Have you?
Yeah, I've got to fill out a form. I can't do it online. But I can do it. I can go to the bank. I can do the bank. I get my new card next week or something, So that's going to be a funny one when I'm paying for.
Do you know what's going to happen next? You're going to end up being knighted if you carry on like this.
Yeah. Oh, don't worry. I'm an undercover copper, as people like to say. I mean, I'm MI5, MI6. I got my warrant card somewhere stashed. Don't you worry about that one. I was thinking of buying a copy warrant card just for a joke. Now, the times I've been accused of it. So
Have you?
yeah, I have. I have been accused a few times. I've been accused of a lot of things, like, you know. What about this question? And here we go. Our food bank was heaving this Christmas with all ages. We gave one turkey beef. There shouldn't be food banks, basically. So angry. Well, Shalom, yeah, you're right, Shalom. There should never have been food banks in this country. Do you know what I mean? I never heard of it when I was growing up. Did you? Food banks?
No, I don't think I'd ever heard of anything like that in my life till the last couple of years, really, few years.
Yeah, they've
And
definitely.
now it's in every shop, isn't it? That they're asking for you to put food in to collect for people, and you're thinking, hang on a minute, you're paying for people to come over and stay in posh hotels. So it doesn't make sense, but it's corruption. Just
well, I'm sure, like I said about the front bench of the MPs. Now, if they didn't take the expenses, do you know what were we talking? I think it was 40 million quid or something like that. Do you mean if they didn't take their expenses, it might be more than that actually. If they didn't take, yeah, it was over 40 million. I'm sure it was, or 400 million. Now, if they didn't take their expenses, they wouldn't need these food banks. Start paying people more.
It's never going to happen. Unfortunately, these people are just scumbags.
Scumbags, yeah, you're right there. Right, I've got another video I'm going to play in a minute. I'll play this now.
Okay, am I off camera for the video?
Yeah, for a little.
So I go off camera when the video's on.
Don't have to, but I don't know if you'll be able to see much. If you want,
so I can watch the video then, yeah.
Yeah, if you want to, yeah, and then just jump back on. The thing is, it's not a very large screen video, so it's going to come down the middle. There is. I'll see if I can find it now.
I'll just stay on.
Do you folks all think your jobs are safe? Even working in McDonald's, I don't think so.
Check this out. This McDonald's in Fort Worth, Texas is the first of its kind to be completely operated by robots. And other fast food chains have already started to do the same thing, with White Castle, Chipotle, and more beginning to replace humans with machines to cut down on labor costs. The leading company behind the technology, Miso Robotics, is the reason you will soon have less hairs in your cheeseburger. But the real question is, how many other jobs will be replaced by robots in the future?
Well, we already know this, don't we? Jobs in supermarkets. Jobs in supermarkets already go in, and now it's going to be fast food outlets. And this is actually a shop in a McDonald's in America, folks. So you could be served to with a robot. But there are loads of other things which are robots are coming into, isn't it, Christine? Like,
I've been talking about this for ages because this fourth industrial revolution, I used to mention to people about it a couple of years ago, and honestly, they would absolutely tear me apart over this. They think I was bonkers. But it's on the government website. It's been there for ages, been there for quite a few years, and it's all there. If you read in between the lines, it's all about artificial intelligence, and that's why they're resetting. And that's why they don't want so many of us around. So we need to be very wary of what we're doing, what we're taking, what we listen to, because they are replacing a lot of people. You're talking about McDonald's, but I've also heard, you probably know about the NHSX. Do you know about that?
No, never heard of that one.
Well, the NHSX is going to take over from the NHS. So basically, it's going to be more digital, and they want to treat more people at home. So they actually talk about having a third less nurses. in a few years. In a
What?
few years, there's going to be a big change, because that's why during the lockdown they put everyone on, where you had to phone your doctor or you had to speak to them online. There's preparing for this NHS-X, this digital NHS, and it's not going to be as many hospitals and practices around and everything. Honestly, now there's a lot of stuff coming. A lot of people are not going to have jobs. So I don't know, we're going to have to push back a lot, and we really have to support people. Do you know, when we're in the supermarket, as much as it's a pain, you have to queue longer to go to the one girl at the till, but go to her and pay with cash. We can only at least try, can't we, and go to human beings, because that's what they're doing. They're just going to replace us with artificial intelligence and robots.
Yeah, a person who's just said this says in live banner, share yet, there ain't no share option too, thanks. Well, if you jump on my profile, Philip Palmer, or if you go on to Real News Live News, the group, you can be able to share it from there. And thanks for sharing, all folks. If you could all share, that'd be great. Yeah, I saw Amazon were doing it, weren't they? Amazon. I know Marks and Spencer's have got a shop as well, haven't they?
Yeah, the plans are to do it for most things. I mean, I've heard as well that it won't be long before we won't even know that we're interacting with robots and artificial intelligence. That they'll be so advanced in a few years that we might be phoning people and they might not even be humans. It's bizarre, isn't it? And it sounds mental. Believe me, I know it sounds nuts, but unfortunately, it's true. It's their plans.
If there's no jobs, the thing is, right, if there's no jobs for people, obviously, what we're talking about, depopulation and stuff like that, it's not far-fetched, because if you don't need that many people on the planet, if you've actually got robots doing the work for us, you know what I mean?
Exactly. They don't need us as much anymore. They've got so much technology. We're not needed. We were needed before to do the jobs, to make the money. Now they don't need that. So this sounds very depressing, but luckily there's millions of us all around the world, and we're all going through this. And that's the thing. When it's not just the UK, is it? So at least we're not alone. There are millions of people everywhere who are trying to push back and fight against this, and that's what we've got to hold on to. That it's not, we just feel like, oh God, it's just us, but there's everyone, isn't it? We're all fighting against this. We're all pushing back against the World Economic Forum.
Yeah, definitely. Well, it's the same as cash, really. I mean, if we don't start using, you're going to end up losing it. And
I use it.
And if people think losing your cash is a good thing, it's not. Can you imagine paying your window cleaner or your taxi driver, or you want to tip somebody? The government will know every single penny that you're spending and where it's going to. Do you mean you couldn't even, if you went to a boot sale and you had to look using your phone to take money? They're going to know every single penny you're taking, and that means you're going to get taxed on every single thing that you do. You won't be able to get away with it. Taking away cash is just another way of increasing tax. We know it, and that's it. Like, do you mean?
Well, when you haven't got cash as well, like you can't put a little bit away. Sometimes people like to put a bit of money away in their house or hide a bit of money somewhere, or, it's just nice to have that little bit of extra fallback, isn't it? Now it would all have to be through the banks and the digital stuff. So like you said, they'd know exactly by the penny how much you spend, what you spend it on. I mean, that is just scary. That is absolutely no freedom. And then what happens when you go to the shop, which is exactly what they want to do, and they realise, well, when you've got your digital thing, they'll know you bought a bottle of wine last week, and when you get to the till, the machine will say, nope, you can't have that bottle of wine now because you had one last week. It'll just say no. And then what are you going to do? You're going to argue with the machine? if it says no, you can't have it.
Yeah.
So things like that is control, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Can you imagine when they want to stop you? They can stop your money at a glitch, just at their fingertips. Or if there's a glitch in the system and you suddenly go to pay for your weekly food and you can't have it, like it's bang out of order.
Yeah, definitely.
Mark has just said about the guy who invented the PCR test. It was only for analysts only, not designed for
That's right.
purposes. Yeah, at the end of the day, that's probably one of the reasons why he was murdered, like to me.
Yeah. Carrie Mullis, wasn't it? Carrie Mullis, yeah.
Yeah. It's probably one of the reasons why he died. I can't say
definitely
murdered. I can't say murdered because it's a conspiracy theory. But it so happens
Poor guy.
So happens the guy who invented the PCR testing is the guy who died when it was all brought in, when he turned around and said that. It weren't very long afterwards he died, did he?
It's a coincidence, Phil. You're just spreading misinformation.
Oh, yeah, sure.
That's like... Go on.
Yeah, go on.
Rick Mayall, wasn't it? Because he did that film One by One. And that, oh my God, is chilling because it tells you exactly really what's happening now. And he speaks to the people. Have you seen that? It's unbelievable. And he talks about all the stuff that's going on now. And then at the end, he looks into the camera and he says, turn your televisions off, listen to no orders. You must follow no orders or something. And he died the same year that was released, didn't he? He died in 2014 and it was released 2014. Well, that film to me was like a real warning to us.
Yeah,
it was just a coincidence though that he died.
Yeah, Facebook users on about he's got it from a reliable source. Mind, we are all conspiracy theories that the government are privatizing all public services. The NHS will be a similar model to the US policy and will be run by G4 security services. Nothing would surprise me. Do you know what I mean? You paid your national insurance, and what you're going to end up with is a privatized system. Simple. Hi, Brian. I hope you're well. I think Brian was in for a stroke over Christmas. Hope you get better, mate. Yeah, you can share just by using the arrow. Thanks, Shani. The Mackie D restaurant is in Texas. No humans working there, all robots. Do you know what I mean? It's bang out of order, isn't it?
Sounds great.
Yeah. Well, yeah, like they said on the film, you're not going to get any hairs in your food, are you?
You're not going to what?
Get any hairs in your food.
That's true. Look at people looking for the bright side. No, we're not having the bright side because we won't have any jobs, and they want to get rid of us. So we'll just have to take the odd hair and put it.
Well,
what's a little hair between friends?
Well, I don't know. With a Mackie D, I don't know. It could be almost anything in a Mackie D, can't it? So I did.
Let's not talk about that. Could be any part of anyone or anything.
Yeah, we can't say that, can we? But we just have. Keep cash.
Wants to come into camera.
There you go. Hello. What's your dog's name?
Tucker.
He's lovely, isn't he? It looks like he's got a bow.
I know, he's got crazy hair. Good boy.
Yeah, Facebook user said keep cash king.
Yeah.
Also taxes extortion. Blinking heck. We can go on this one. You've got national insurance, you've got income tax, you've got your normal tax, you've got your VAT. So when you get taxed on your wages, you pay your national insurance and your tax. Then you go out, you get taxed, 70 pence in a pound or 68 pence in a pound for your fuel for every pound. Then on your food and everything else you buy, you're taxed again. So what are you actually doing? Getting? You're not. You're just paying the government tax. Absolutely. They're just robbing. They're robbing bastards.
You're getting a free jab whenever you want it. That's what you're getting. You're getting...
No, thank you. No, thank you. They know where they can
You
stick
can have
that.
one every 3 months if you want from our government.
Yeah, while the doctors are making, what was it, 15 quid for every one? Yeah, right.
Yep.
And they won't pick up the phones to you. Yeah, great. Mark said, and the banks get a percentage of every card payment. Yeah, you're right. Who wants to use card? Because it won't only come to that. When eventually it goes to card only, what you'll end up with, you'll be paying a certain percentage as well as the card provider, the business you go into. What's this? Oh, moonshine will return. Yeah. Yeah, cashless society. We'll be trading in blinking vegetables and everything else, won't we? Maybe silver and gold. So what's this? What do you mean costing the government too much money? They just don't know how to spend it wisely. They need to get rid of the Home Office and things like that, because obviously how much money there. I saw a picture of the Home Office the other day. Oh, no.
Is it nice?
No, the people who are actually working in the Home Office. I'm going to keep my mouth shut.
Yeah, say nothing. It's best to say nothing sometimes.
Because when you see the pictures of the Home Office, people working there, then you'll know, like, do you?
Oh,
there you go.
I think I know what you're on about. Are they robots?
Yeah. Well, it could very well be, do you, for the elite, not for us. That's a definite. What's this?
Sounds great.
What's this? G-Force breach data security, which they aren't allowed to share. Talk about our data. Yeah, of course they do. There's a lot of like councils do that. Mind, they talk about your data. They actually sell your data. It's the same as banks. With all the information they got on you, they sell your data.
Of course they do. Greedy, aren't they? Greedy.
Yeah. The TSG are paid by Serco. It's all available information. The TSG support group, Shaney, is actually half of them are actually trained in Israel. Bet you didn't know that, Shaney.
Didn't know that.
Yeah, they're police. They're actually police, but they're actually half of them are trained in Israel.
Oh,
for riot control.
New one to me.
What's this? Keep an eye out open for human trafficking involving Leicester children's homes in 2023 being tipped off. I believe you, Brian, because I know you've got some inside information. Hello, Jane. Right, should we go on about the police now while we're at it? I've got a little video.
Do we have to?
Yeah, it's a funny one. It's a funny one.
Oh, okay.
I have actually seen it before, but I saw it without the logo on it before. But there's a small logo on it, so we'll play that now.
He said I'm aggressive.
Excuse me. He?
You? Yeah.
I'm a female police officer, and I find that offensive.
Do you?
I do, yeah.
Well, what are you going to do?
What do you mean, what am I going to do?
What are you going to do?
I find that really offensive.
You're touching me. I find that offensive. I find that offensive.
He?
I find that offensive.
He?
So what if I said, she? Is that better for you?
Well, yeah, because I am a female.
What could you not be transsexual?
No, I'm not transsexual.
You can't be in a position to feel harassed.
Listen, mate. Listen.
Listen what? What, is this a threat?
No, it's not a threat.
What
you
is it?
say he to me one more time and I will arrest you for public 4A, section called public order.
Why, right? On what grounds?
Because I'm a female, not a male.
So you're a female?
Yes, I am.
Did I know that?
So?
Huh?
Can you not tell?
Are you a snowflake?
Pardon?
Are you a snowflake?
Oh, you're a snowflake.
Oh, I've seen that. It's brilliant, isn't there?
Yeah, I saw it last year sometime, like, Dewey. But I thought I'd play it again, like, Dewey.
That's so funny.
Yeah, glad you did, Shade. Yeah, but now, so what do we do if we see a transgender Well, I don't know what to call a police officer anymore. You know,
Just call them whatever you want to call them. Look, we're not going to we're not playing into their silly games, are we? We can't deny the truth. We have to speak the truth.
yeah.
So
yeah.
they're still policeman, policewoman, and that's it.
So if they've got a male
Ridiculous.
voice, we'll just call a male policeman.
All right.
Because he said he, didn't he? That's what set her off, like, did he?
It's brilliant on there. So good.
Well, he did know.
Oh.
He didn't really know, did he? He could have been right. It could have been a transgender police officer.
Well, it's very difficult to tell sometimes.
Yeah, because they are kind of quite butch, you know. Some of them are. So how are you supposed to know? Brian Clare's got the right one. Pig.
Yeah, I know. That's true. That's the right way to go. That's just not speak to them, really.
Yeah, well, I've called them a lot worse than that. Do you mean? Especially when I've gone across the riot line. Do you mean when the riot squad's in front of me? I called them a hell of a lot worse than that, to be honest with you. Yeah. So, what are your thoughts with the police? Shady. You can't go saying things like that.
Well, who does he want to ask? What's our thoughts on the police?
No, it's me asking it. So, what are your thoughts about? Do you think the police are really going to stand up with us or not? If it comes push to push.
No, they're not. They're definitely not. They're not 100%, because for 2-3 years now, I have gone to the police and asked them to help us. I've shown them evidence. I've sent them emails, letters, and it's taken me. I know that. Well, I think most of us know they are not going to help us. They're not helping us. They're not interested. They are, and we know from going to the libraries, it doesn't matter what they're shown. They're not interested. They're there to do their job because they're a corporation, aren't they? And they don't work for us. So I've given up now with the police. Forget them, because leave them behind. They're useless.
Come on. Well, when we had 1 million to 2 million people on the streets of London, right? Do you mean? And the police wouldn't stand by us. They still fought against us. Do you mean in the night when the numbers started coming down? They still wanted to have a pop at us. Do you mean? So we've got no chance.
They're a disgrace.
Oh, they are.
We've got no hope with them. We need to make our own police force. Maybe that's what we should do.
Yeah, they'll call us vigilantes, won't they? You know what they like. Definitely.
Well, if they'll have to leave us alone though if we recruit transsexual people and stuff. They won't be able to touch us. Maybe that's the way to go.
Yeah,
they won't be able to discriminate.
I don't think LGBTQ plus have got the balls to do anything, or pardon the pun, balls, to actually stand up to a government, which is, well, they're quite happy at the moment with the way things are going, aren't they? So with the school ed and everything else, the LGBTQ. Of
course they are. They're living it. They're living it.
Yeah, definitely.
But there's a lot of good ones as well that know what's happening. I think the ones that realise where this is going, they realise the true gay and lesbians know that this is not going to be good for them either. This is not a good agenda for them either. Same as the straight people, very damaging. I think they don't realise it's some of them, but there are quite a few that can see that this isn't what they want. They don't want children to be taught this. They want to be left alone. They just want to get on with their lives. All they wanted was, they did want to have a civil partnership, didn't they? They wanted that, which was done. And I think they were quite happy, really. So I just think this has gone way too far. It's just gone, well, it's crazy now.
Yeah, they don't know their own Facebook user. and they certainly don't work for us any longer. They're just a security force for our government, for our politicians, and because they don't solve crime, not any longer. Do you mean the crime? No, they don't do it.
They don't do it. They don't touch that. What's the point of that?
Yeah, Shane, I remember that. November 2021. I actually remember that at Parliament Square. We had the riot police on the run. And then what happened was in front of Parliament, I'm going to say it as it is. I don't give a monkeys. They were pushed back outside Parliament gates. And there were politicians actually in the building at the time. They were pushed. The police were the riot police were pushed back, and it was only like 10,000 of us. That's all it was. We covered Parliament Square, and then we had Fiona Rose Diamond, Nacho, all decide we're going to go on a march. Now, instead of pushing the police back further, they decided to walk 2, 3 miles, 4 miles around London to come back to the same place. Do you mean? So sorry. That's what you get. You get people to distract it. I mean, they had no chance that day. Absolutely no chance. But I've seen it a few times where distractions come along, where you think you're going to make a difference, and those distractions come into play. I don't care. That's right. I've interviewed Fiona Rose Diamond a few times. Like, do you mean? She seems a nice woman. Everything else, but as soon as they turn, she is a nice woman. Face to face, do you mean? But when you organise a demo, weren't really organised by her in the beginning, and they suddenly decide to go on a march, split up the protesters who were actually having a good day, pushing the police back. They were pushed out of the centre of Parliament Square. You were having a good day, like. You don't want to go on a poxy march around London for a few miles to come back to Downing Street. There again. Downing Street was nearly taken that night. It nearly was pushed through. The barriers were up. The police shit themselves, like, do you mean? But then you had the riot police come in and split them up, basically come down the middle, basically. And this frog is killing me. I should be in France. I want to watch riots over there. I do this year.
Yeah.
Britain haven't got the balls. France have. France got the balls we have. You go back to the Second World War, they were the pussies. But we weren't. It's completely changed now, isn't it? France make a stand all the time, like, to me. Not us. Right. So what do you think? So what are your thoughts on the climate zones?
The climate zones. 2 seconds. My dog wants to go out. 2 minutes.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah.
Honestly, sorry. Right. What do I think? Sorry.
Yeah, Brian Clare just said paid opposition. I know he's on about Nacho and Fiona Rose Diamond. You know.
Oh yeah, they. A lot of them are, aren't they? As we're starting to find out.
Well, you are, aren't you? I don't know who the Facebook user is.
I'm not. I'm
Facebook
not
user, send me a message because you're from where I live.
I got no many, but I might have a load of toilet rolls soon. If I play my cards right. Oh, my dog's in and out. Sorry, everyone. 2 seconds. Are you coming in all right? Come on. Right, sit down now. This is important. You can't muscle in on. He's getting up on the table. Right. What do I think about zones? Okay. Yeah. So, well, we knew that eventually this is part of the Industrial Revolution, that they're going to use the climate change agenda to make us feel guilty, to believe that we're doing stuff for the greater good, because that's how they're going to fool people again. And then they're going to say that, you know, we can only travel into certain areas a certain amount of times. I think otherwise, will it be fines and stuff? But eventually that'll get less and less. They'll say, oh, you can't go that many times. And eventually you'll just be trapped in your area. And the other thing is, do you know that they want to close all the airports bar 3?
Yeah.
Did you know that?
Yeah, I've heard that rumour as well.
By 2030, they want to close all the airports except for 3 of them. And that's in the whole of the UK, by the way.
That's absolutely bonkers, that is.
Scary.
It is. We're on about Oxford. I'm going to put a banner up now for Oxford, because there is and then I'll talk
So this is all been confirmed now with Oxford, hasn't it? Is this already starting to happen? Because I don't know, I have heard of somebody saying they're already starting to put up some barriers.
Well,
but obviously I haven't been there, so I don't know. I don't know how true that is, but this is frightening.
Yeah. So, folks, it's the 18th of February 2023. I don't know what day that is. It doesn't even say a time on that, but there is going to be a demo there. There is actually, but the thing is, it's not just Oxford. They're talking about Birmingham now. They're talking about Edinburgh. They're talking about Cardiff. They're already talking about Canterbury already. Canterbury pushing it through. Do you mean? And if you think London's not going to get done with these zones, you're wrong. Now, can you imagine that? It's 15 minutes or 20 minutes, right? Whichever they decide. It's already happening in Australia. Do you mean? It's already happening in Australia. It's already happening in parts of Europe as well. And if you can only walk or ride a bike for 15 minutes. To me,
I know.
So
I know.
You've got to have a doctor, a hospital, a supermarket, a school, all in that vicinity. And you're only allowed to go so many, 220, I think, times a year. What happens if you've got a sick mother, you're a carer?
Well, that's why they're going to ham us into smart cities, aren't they? Because their plans are to put us into smart cities, into zones, Hunger Games, real life, honestly. They're going to put us into different zones, and then we're not going to be able to go hardly anywhere. We're just going to be a load of brain dead zombies, robots.
Rocky just said,
Hiya, Rocky.
Regs were in trial run to see how it would be best to handle. Yeah, of course it was. The 2.5 year lockdown was just a trial. We were saying that from the beginning. It was a trial. And people didn't believe us. It was going to get worse. And that's what it's going to be like. Can you imagine if you work, say you lived in Cardiff and you worked in, say, Bristol? Because a lot of people do. Or Newport work in Bristol. A lot of people do. How are you going to manage that? How are they going to manage that?
Well, I suppose because by then they're going to have expected a lot of us to have lost our jobs anyway. And then they'll suggest the smart cities where they're going to build the areas with everything you need. So you won't need to leave further than 20 minutes away because you're going to have your little shop, I presume. That's what I think. That's what I'm guessing. You're going to have everything you need, doctors online, and you're not going to need to leave your area, which sounds really grim, doesn't it? Doesn't really sound like living.
Yeah, it's not. It's not.
What's Rocky saying? I can't read that because it's too small for me. I can't see it. What's it saying?
The QR codes will be back to track where you have been to. Sorry, but the track and trace was billions of pounds wasted. The track and trace was. It didn't work, and it's not going to work because we're not having it on our fucking smartphones. Because I'm not having it on there. It's simple as that. I would not be tracked and traced by no government. We're being tracked and traced anyway. I mean, they know that for your Google Maps and stuff like that. On the cameras and the cameras on traffic lights. There's cameras everywhere. We are the most most cameras in Europe is in the UK. It's fact, that is. You've been tracked all the time. But if they think I'm going to a council to ask permission to leave my zone, it'll be like that. Not a fucking chance.
I know that, but that's where if once they put everyone on that social credit scoring system and we haven't got cash, then that's going to be, they're going to trap. That's our trap. We're trapped. We're done for. Once the cash is gone, we are in big trouble. Everyone get the cash out, get to the bank now and get spending and get to your local shops.
Definite. Yeah, definite.
Yeah, spend your cash now, and especially in any family businesses and stuff.
There is a demo Saturday, isn't it? There you go.
Yes, there is. So we're going to be meeting outside HSBC in Queen Street at 1 p.m. There's a speaker there, but we're just going to chat to people. We've got some flyers to give out, and we're just going to chat to people and see what people think about, you know, what's going on with the climate, and try and chat to them about how would they feel if they're not going to be allowed, you know, to leave their areas, or if they're going to be told they can't really drive their cars and stuff, you know, eventually. It's just, I think with this one, for some people, it's going to have to go in softly at first, because it's another one that people will find very difficult to hear. They really don't want to hear this, because they really believe that the climate is, you know, that there is danger and that we've ruined the planet and everything. So I think just to try and like get them to think about, like, do they never want to go on holiday again? Like, they're supporting this climate stuff, but I don't think they realise the impact that it'll have on them and their families. Do they want their children to get older and to never ever be able to travel anywhere? Because that's what it's going to end up like for our children, especially, and grandchildren and stuff.
Yeah, definite. Well, as far as I'm concerned with climate change, the likes of Antarctic, where you were lied to back in the 90s, are just going to lose this landmass of ice. Absolute bullshit. It's been proved that the exact opposite. It's actually gaining. So that means, that technically means that we're actually going into an ice age. So there's no global warming at all. That's a bullshit. The thing is, what people don't understand, we've already had 5 ice ages on this planet, and it's going to be hundreds of thousands of years before we actually get another one again.
Oh, I know. There's nothing to worry about with that. It's a load of nonsense. I'm sorry. It's absolute crap. It's utter nonsense. And remember, we were scared about the ozone layer and all that. They've done it to us since we were kids. All I remember is watching those flipping AIDS adverts. I was so scared seeing the gravestones. The adverts were just dark and frightening, like as if anyone could catch it. You could catch it from anyone or anywhere. Remember all that? And then it was the ozone layer. If you're not careful, with the hole's going to get bigger and bigger, and it's just terrible, the fear mongering that's gone on. And we've grown up with that since we were little. We've had it, but imagine the children now. They've had 3 years of being in school and being told by their teachers about climate change. So they're probably a bit scared about that. They're frightened about, that they're going to kill someone with a cold. You know, they've had to be masked up. They've missed school. Just the whole thing of it is vile. It's absolutely vile what they've done. What are we going to do about it? We got.
Roger off YouTube said, "Why don't the people just rise up?" Well, we've been saying this for a long time.
I'm waiting.
So am I. Well, we saw 2 million in London who had woken fully, but now they've gone back to sleep again. Do you mean?
I know.
They've gone back to sleep as if the government wouldn't harm them. Oh yeah, right. The government will do what they want to depopulate this country. Well,
we should have kept. Yeah, we should have kept growing that. It should not. You know, the bigger the numbers, the more and more we can see how many people are waking up, how many people are against this. The bigger numbers, we're creating our own army. The problem is now we're not really seeing it so much. We're not really seeing. I don't know. I think sometimes you need to see that so that you can see how many people are standing up against this and know what's going on. I think when you're kind of on your own and you're just thinking, like, does anybody care? Is anyone doing anything? Is there anything happening? And I think we need to see it sometimes, don't we? And that's why I personally do. I like a protest. I don't think they should happen all the time. I think every now and again there should be huge protests just so we can see what numbers we've got. Because if they have a climate change protest, there's loads of people out for that, loads and loads. And then you think, oh my God, that's how many people are brainwashed. You can see that's how many people that we are against you.
It's not about protest. We need disobedience. Well, I've been thinking that for a long time. Like Mark knows me anyway. He knows me quite well. Like, so yeah, we shouldn't be doing them on Saturdays. It's pointless. If you spread an awareness, I can totally understand. Like Saturday's demo in Cardiff, it's about spreading awareness about climate change. He's actually,
it's not protest. It's outreach, chatting.
Yeah,
no,
he's an expert on against climate change. He's been doing it for about 30, 40 years, Paul has, and he knows his stuff. Like, so he's against the narrative of the climate change, but he knows his stuff. He's an elderly gentleman, but he does know it. So yeah, that sort of protest, or a gathering, that's right, outreach is fine because you are spreading awareness. Yeah, I think it needs to come to disobedience at some stage, but I'm just wondering when. Like, we've had the chance.
I know. We are personally, like I try, like I said, using cash, going to humans. These are all things pushing back a bit and not paying certain bills and stuff. And, there's all different ways that you can push back, but we need everyone to be doing it. So the more and more people that push back on everything they possibly can. If they tell us to do something, we do the opposite, and we just keep going like that. But I think there are a lot of people that are doing it now. I do. Again, it's just that we're not seeing it, so we feel like there's hardly anyone doing it. But I think there is a lot more than we probably even realise. I hope.
Yeah.
I'm hoping.
I'm hoping the cost of living does wake people up, because when they start paying more taxes, which is going to happen come April, when they start doing their new budgets and stuff like that, you are going to be paying more tax, if you like it or not. Mm-hmm. They're on about putting 15p back on the price of on fuel. Do you mean? Can you imagine it? Do you mean?
Are they on about as well? Did I hear? I don't know whether this was true or another fear thing, but because so many people are not paying their TV license, so they're on about putting it onto the council tax or something. Yeah. Did I hear that?
I heard that 4 months ago.
They got us and that's the problem, isn't it?
It should be scrapped. It should be scrapped. The BBC should be scrapped, full stop. And if you're paying the BBC, anybody on the earth paying the BBC, you're off your heads. You shouldn't have to pay for it. Why pay for a paedophile station?
I never pay for it. Disgusting,
propaganda.
The fact that they've reported a load of nonsense for 3 years and probably all my life, then no, I will never pay that again. But like I said, then they're going to try and whack it onto something else, aren't they? They're just bad people. Yeah. But never mind. We're gonna keep pushing forward. We're never giving up, and that's the main thing. We're going to keep strong. And we're just going to keep moving forward.
Yeah, definitely.
We can do it. People power.
Yeah, definitely. So we got 2 demos for the lockdown. So the one is on the 18th of February. I'll find out the time for you when it gets closer, folks. That's in Oxford. I think that's going to be a very big one. And then you got one this Saturday, which is actually exposing the climate scam. So the reason why they're bringing in these, cities and stuff like that, then you'll find out the real reason. Because if you do go to Cardiff and you listen to this guy does talk a lot of sense, and he does talk in your language as well. He doesn't try to bombard you with different language or anything. He's actually he knows what he's talking about.
Oh, so, good. That'd be good to listen to, because I don't think I've ever heard him speak before, so that'd be good.
Yeah,
and it's just get out there and be seen. Mm-hmm.
I think if I'm not doing anything Saturday, I might turn up. I don't know yet. No idea yet. So I might do, because he does talk sense, and it's worth getting it on film. I mean, to do a live with him, so it's well worthwhile doing it. Right, and the last thing I want.
Lee just said it's the calm before the storm.
I hope that's right.
All. We're having the calm, and then it's going to go crazy.
Well,
buckle up, everyone.
Yeah, definitely. Especially as far as our kids are concerned. Do you know what I mean? England, get your asses out of fucking England and into Wales, I'm afraid. If you think your children aren't, if you think your children are your kids, you're wrong. It was proved in a court of law in the High Court that your child is now government owned, state owned. You remember that? State owned. It doesn't matter what you think, because you're wrong. You're absolutely wrong. You're state owned. A judge has already said in the High Court, folks. So the last thing I really want to talk about is the Beagle camp.
Oh, don't.
Yeah.
So sad.
The thing is, this Beagle camp's been going for a couple of years now, do you mean? And the amount of, they take hundreds of dogs out there, do you mean? There's 4,000 dogs, puppies in there. It's a puppy farm, basically, for beagles. And I've been promising myself I'll be going up for the last 18 months since I've been supporting them. Like I share this stuff into my group and that occasionally. And Animal Rebellion, actually, before Christmas, they actually saved, I think it was about 15, 16 puppies. They broke in there.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Well done, guys. That's fab.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Because we know what these puppies are getting tested for. They're getting tested for makeup, for vaccines. Do you mean? It's just absolutely sick why are we living in a society that does that now? Do you mean?
I know.
But they've got a big outreach right around the country, different towns and that, where they actually do outreach sometimes, like Banners on Bridge does.
Right.
So, but I am definitely going to be going up there sometime this week, folks. So you're going to get a live off me sometime this week.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah, definite. Because at the end of the day,
I don't know if I can bear the pain of knowing there's dogs in there that are being suffering. Oh, I want to break in with them. I want to steal them all. The problem is they'll just keep breeding them. So it's how do we stop it? You know, what can we do to stop it? Because as much as I'd love to get the dogs, it's what?
It's about spreading awareness at the end of the day. Half the country don't even know. There is a demo. I haven't got it on you, I don't think. There is a demo. I don't know if I got it on you.
Is there a demo? Is there for the beagles? I'd like to go to that. The demo for it as well. That'd be good.
Yeah, that's in February as well. Sometime. I don't think I got it on you. I don't think I have. So I will let you all know next week. I know it's in February sometime.
Okay, cool.
But definitely, because I forgot what I was talking about.
Save the beagles.
Yeah, definitely. So I will get some footage. Because they did a really good job. But it's not the first time they've broken some beagles out. I think there was about 12 arrests, mind. This time.
Bless them.
But they got thrown
good
out.
People there.
Yeah, they got thrown out of Crown Court the last time.
Oh, good.
Amazing. Yeah, definitely. So I'm hoping they get thrown out again, like, do you mean? I don't think there's anything else to talk about tonight.
Okay. Well, that's been nice having a chat. Thank you.
Yeah, not a problem. Seen Futch amazing rescued and owned it too. I'd love to have a beagle, to be honest with you.
No.
Yeah, no problem.
I'd want them all, though. Would be all. I can't cope with that. So sad. Oh, let's save the beagles, everyone. Everyone get down there and save a beagle. We just grab one each.
I think they're they've actually been camping out there for 2 years. Over 2 years. They've got like tents up on the side of the roads. the police presence going back and forth is getting ridiculous now, mind, because of Christmas. After they had that break-in just before, like, you know. But yeah, they always see a lot of them are vegans. I can't even take them food down because I'm not sure if I want to offend people by giving them a bacon butty or something, or a McDonald's.
No, you don't give vegans bacon butty. Definitely wrong move, bad move.
Yeah, but I don't know what to take down from. Like, you know, I'll probably just put something in their donation box. That's probably what I'll do. And hopefully
I'm sure they'll be happy with that.
Yeah, they do their own cooking down there and stuff. I can't turn up with half a pig, can I? Not if I'm just trying to save the beagles.
No.
No,
right, well, thank you very much, and I hope everyone has a nice evening, what's left of it. Enjoy.
Yeah, definitely, folks. Thanks for jumping on again, Christine. How do I pronounce it? I normally say
Christy. Just say Christy.
Yeah, it's a
you
lot
always
easier.
say it wrong anyway.
Yeah, I always do, don't I, Christy? So, what I'll do, folks, I'm going to end the show. Oh, by the way, folks, next week we've got Kat Watkins probably coming on.
Amazing. Kat's coming on, fab.
And then the week after, we've got a lady called Kim. She's an alternative medicine. She's spot on the following week. But we will talk about other things while we're doing it. And obviously, we'll have Christy jumping on as well. So we're going to end the show with Darren's tune. That's Cat's Other Half. I'll say good night. God bless. And
good night.
Next Tuesday. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, picking it up here in Wilmington, North Carolina, right at the Intercoastal. And we're in one of these bands.
So that's Mike Seidel in Wilmington, North Carolina. But as he races and fights to win Friday, check out the two guys who seem to walk right by him in the background there with no trouble at all. The video has been shared more than 1 million times on social media. Now it's the
Cruising, losing, looking for some news and losing it's amusing. Other people choosing the topics I can view and the subjects I can chew on, the facts that I can spew and the news they put their slew on. Twisty, turny, wriggly, wormy, squealy, squirmy news. Psychopathic journalists deceiving with their views. Tightening like a tourniquet, they're aiming to confuse. Nightly negative narratives narrating you the blues. Blues and twos, new taboos, the pastas all sold out. The hurricane's incoming and the world is dying out. Asteroids, blasteroids, steroids in their tails. The windiest ever windy gales are blowing in the dales. The sea levels are rising at a super duper rate. 247 365, the caliphate's your fate. Tidal waves are waving like the death rays from the sun. Duck and cover, stand your ground, there's nowhere else to run.
Now, more on the latest building collapse in New York. You might have heard a few moments ago, I was talking about the Salomon Brothers building collapsing. And indeed it has. Jane, what more can you tell us about the Salomon Brothers building and its collapse?
Well, only really what you already know. Details are very, very sketchy.
Writing, fighting, to publish stuff exciting. Losing is amusing, other people choosing the posts that I can post and the documents I can read from, the info I can feed from, the facts the checkers get wrong. Sleazy, slimy, geeky, grimy, blackout, soulless tech, concluding with a clickety-click what's wrong and what's correct. Politically encouraged with protection from the law. They're getting pretty ruthless now, they panicking for sure. Scrubbing out the info like a scrubber in a tub, deleting the derogatory of the members in their club. Documents and studies disappear without a trace. Psychopathic moralists, they're doing it in your face. The info is erasing at a super duper rate. Breach community standards, your account will feel a fate. Post a funny meme means that you hate and are extreme. No chance of an appeal cause you're white and so supreme. Doctors, nurses, scientists and servants, real boys made from wood, covering for the perverts. Defining definitions that will put you in a spin. Anything of interest gets filed in recycled bin. Algorithms algorizing the content that you post. Collecting information, long-term storage with a host. Five Eyes keeping eyes on you, they're eyeing up your speech. Using legal loopholes to conduct a data breach. Unqualified assessors banning stuff they do not like. Since early 2020 this has reached a massive spike. You're swimming in a dirty swamp, the swamp is full of pike. Post a touchy subject and receive a community strike. Unelected unofficials making up the rules. $1 billion corporations